I mean, this event is going to be vinyl only.
Yep.
You know, we were just talking about that just then, about, you know, how few DJs there are out there now who even, you know, are willing to turn their hand to vinyl nowadays.
Yeah.
So what is it about vinyl that you know, that we love?
I think it's everything, isn't it? It's all about getting that record out of the sleeve, you know, getting it onto the turntable, picking up that needle, you know, dropping it down, you know, hearing that whole snap, crackle and pop, you know, queuing it up in the headphones. It's just the feel of it, and everything about it is, it's like it captures a moment in time, doesn't it? You know, and it's how Scott and I both learn the craft, and it is a craft, you know. It's an art form. There's something very unique about riding 2 bits of vinyl compared to, say, MP3 or WAV files mixing digitally. It's a completely different kettle of fish. You know, you've got warps in the records, you've got 33 RPM and 45 RPM, you know, so you've got, you know, you can play tracks that have got like one whole track on one side, or an EP which could have multiple tracks on there, and the difference in volumes, there's so much more to think about. You know, with you know, digital files, they're pretty much mastered all at the same temperature, the same volume, and you know, it's often just painting by numbers. You know the BPMs, you know exactly where the faders are, you can read out on the screen, and you just press play, and it kind of takes a bit of the fun and enjoyment away from it, I think, personally.
So I'd agree with that.
Yeah,
Completely.
Yeah.
So it's exciting, and then you've got the factor of you know, like the ravers, you know, potentially bumping into the turntables and dancers, you know, because then all of a sudden you're in the mix and you're bringing it in, and then if that one jumps and you're like, oh shit, you've got to then pull the
someone's
record
launched
back,
a glow stick.
so it's really puts you that
stress.
it's
Good fun though.
Yeah.
100%.
Like I said, I've been doing a vinyl in Bristol and Ipswich not too long ago, and they were brilliant. It was class. Brilliant to be back on vinyl again. But like I said, I was getting some of the old tracks out. Some of them have been played so many times as well. Yeah. So I was getting the jumps and that. I've got to get another one. But it was like that back in the day, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Flicking through and all the rest of it, because you don't know where you're going until you're actually on.
Yeah, that's right.
You know.
Yeah.
And then you had dub plates, Scott, as well, didn't you? You know, the old plates. I mean, you could only play them X amount of times before the sound quality would go.
I just used to love getting home and smelling them.
They're sort of crayons, aren't
They
they?
are lovely. I mean, I've still got all of mine, you know. But yeah, all of us used to go up to Music House and JTS, didn't we?
Yeah.
Pretty much there was a given day or days every week.
It was like a club, wasn't it?
Quite a few of us were there every week, and we'd share the up and coming tracks we were doing, or that we'd done that week, and cut them. I think it was back then, it was 30 or 50 quid for each one. So we were, you know,
expensive,
but it was to be that exclusive.
Yeah.
And everything. But when you were dropping them and people had not heard them before,
What's that? Yeah.
It was absolutely them times were it's like Robbie said, it is a moment in time. It's a snapshot, and it was just such an amazing time back in the 90s. It really was.
I've got a memory of you, mate. I was out on the road with Brisky. I was with my brother as well. And, I think it was a world dance down in Lyd Airport. And I was looking up at the stage, and you were DJ, and you had your records there, and then you had all these, like, your 10-inch plates must have been about like that.
Yeah.
I thought, God, they're like 30 quid each. I'm thinking, he's got like a few grand there in dub plates, you know what I mean? Me and my brother, we both had a laugh. He said, "Cool, look, Scott's packing some dubs there."
Mate, there's still some of them that aren't out. I mean, I got there's the Tango Project track I had, which was never released.
Right.
God bless him now. But that track. I mean, I think I've been offered 500 quid for that dub plate.
You know. Would you have a part of it or not? No.
I mean, all the stuff. I did sell a hell of a lot of vinyl in one of my old properties. It was basically bowing the floors.
Really?
And so I got rid of just thousands and thousands, but I kept pretty much anything that had I had a memory with or played.
Yeah.
I kind of kept. So yeah.
Sweet.
So we've all got quite collections now, sort of full-on collections now that we still play now, have we?
Yeah. Well, have you seen?
I've not been in your house. You told me I wasn't allowed in.
Loads. Yeah, loads. But my sort of era was a little bit late, obviously, than these boys. Younger than them. So mine was from like 96 up to sort of like my 96 to sort of 99 collection is. But I pretty much got everything from that era.
Okay.
I love it. Yeah, so I would never get rid of it.
No.
Never. The only one I ever sold was the one I bought off Hixie for £1, and it was a Titanic. The Titanic theme tune was just fucking abysmal. I sold that for about 60 quid. Bought it off him for £1 and sold it for 60. But apart from that, I wouldn't sell it.
That was another good thing though, with vinyl is, you had to. There was a whole process of getting it actually out in the end. So I think the quality control is pretty tight.
Better, yeah.
It's not like that these days.
Just slammed out, don't they?
You do have to sift through to get some good slammed out.
But that whole going back to that dub play culture, that was insane. And I do remember the club. It was difficult to break into that as well. Like, so you were quite early to the scene in the whole production thing, weren't you? You jumped.
Well, I remember Andy C bringing in Valley of the Shadows.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, did you?
Because obviously the drum and bass we were kind of all in together.
Oh yeah.
And back then you did play a bit of both. But I remember when he put that on, and I think Groove Rider and there was a couple of others, Fabio, quite a few in there, and Slip Matt, and I'll remember him coming on and everyone been, this is I think even back then, because I was pretty young, I think Andy is about the same age. He was really young then as well.
Yeah.
We were babies really.
Yeah.
Like 17, 18.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because you started with Fusion really early, didn't you?
Yeah.
But I bet it was
I was playing at Stearns, I think. You'd done Stearns as well, didn't you? That was my first one. It was a chance to dance.
Yeah.
Under 18.
Okay.
And I used to go up there.
What year do you reckon that was?
Oh, God, I reckon 93. It might have even been like 92. It was. I actually got to know the guy through going to the under 18s night. So I got to know one of the lads. His dad was involved in owned the property.
Okay.
So I used to go up to his house in Angmering, I think it was, near Worthing, and then we used to go to Stearns when it was all closed.
Yeah.
And play in the underground. It was amazing. I was only a youngster. And I remember one of the times I went, because they used to give us young'uns a chance on the middle floor, I think it was. They used to have the Beatle, didn't they, cut in half.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So you'd get a chance to do 20 minutes each.
Okay.
And I just remember always taking my set tapes up there of my mixes, giving them to everyone, give them to Coxie and all that. And I just remember someone being late, and Mensa, who run it, was there, and Carl was like, "Oh, give Scotty a go," and that. And I think I got literally about quarter of an hour or something, but mixed a couple, and from that I managed to get another gig from it. And then Fusion come on White and that, and Cottondale and all them guys, and it just kind of. But it was really for me, I think my first Dreamscape that was in August '94, the bank holiday one. I mean, once I'd done that, it changed everything.
Yeah.
And it literally was like boom. Yeah, I just wasn't expecting it at all. But once I was on that flyer,
And kicked off.
it really did. Because Fusion was brilliant. I was very lucky to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
resident. I was doing their club nights.
Yeah.
But I think Dreamscape was just such a big thing at the moment, right in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
And once I'd done that, I think the cassettes come out. But I didn't even know. I went up there, and Murray had done the flyers for Plymouth for It's a Knockout or something. And I remember getting the flyer on the way out, and I was on it, and I was so chuffed because I hadn't even heard I was on it.
Dude,
But I was
so
like,
yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
So I was kind of on the two, and then everyone else, it just all come rolling in,
Never got to play for Dreamscape.
No, did you not?
No, I never did. No, unfortunately, I only just managed to get in Helter Skelter.
Yeah.
But those were the parties, weren't they? Them two. Back in the day, I mean.
Well, dance was good though, like you say. I mean, it was lucky for us doing more of the hardcore, because back then you could mix it up a little bit. I played quite a bit in the early days of drum and bass in my set.
Yeah.
And kind of trancey stuff as well. But to get on a world dance, there weren't many of us playing hardcore that actually got to do it, really.
Yeah.
I think Slipmat, Sight, Vibes, Dougal,
Seduction.
and myself. I can't think of many more that got to get on there, because it was it was more drum and bass, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
GQ,
that Lid Airport,
GQ
down
comparing
in
the whole
Kent.
night.
Yeah.
You know, but they were incredible. I mean, the sound system in that place was insane.
Slightly off piece there. I don't even know if you can probably
You
cut this
crack
out.
on.
You going on about tapes. Now you won't remember this, but I used to always go around armed with tapes wherever I used to go. All my demo tapes when I was about 17, and I was in South.
Have a leather jacket.
Yeah, basically, like, with a fucking flashing Mac jacket. I fucking walked in Burger King and you were in there. And I got your demo tape with Burger King in Southampton. Yeah, it was. It was me. Yeah, it was in Southampton. That was me.
That's your favourite tape, mate. Isn't it?
That's the best tape you've had. You bumped it to the tape.
remember that.
Yeah, that was in Southampton.
He's kept his tape machine in his car.
He's got it in the shrine.
I remember I used
Yeah.
to bump into you just randomly. I remember, like, in Los Angeles.
That's
just
right, yeah.
Basically randomly bumping into you.
Never without my demo tapes.
Yeah.
Come here, listen to this.
Following you about.
Fucking hell, running push outside. Yeah, that was me.
You got any on you now?
No, you sent me my one back that I gave you.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, do you remember? You were like, what's your address? Gave him a demo tape when I was about fucking 17. He was like, what's your address? And then you kept it all those years, posted it back to me.
I'm a bit of a
Yeah, you are, mate.
I've got boxes and boxes full of stuff like bomber jackets, all the flyers, magazines, everything. I need to go through it all, really. But yeah, like I say, I didn't. People have come to me for other things as well that are on dub. Now, some of them often serious money as well. But like I say, I wouldn't never sell them. I'm keeping everything, and I'll, like, to be honest with you, we'll go through it all with my boy in that one day.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of memories there, you know, and it's just a nice thing to do.
The prices of, you're right, the prices of vinyls sort of been going up and up again recently. Do you think it's justified, sort of some of the prices that...
Well, it's a collector's thing now, isn't it? I mean, they're doing... I just had the Phantasm and the Beast re-release that I've done with Ramsel, which was my first track.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was my first track.
repress, is it?
We done that in Southampton, and it's on a lovely bit of vinyl. It's like blood red with the...
Oh, really?
It's I got it through. I was like, I'm probably going to get it framed and put up at some point. But they're doing them with all the hectic stuff at the moment. They re-released Groove Control.
Okay.
But I mean, them times were huge. The records went massive. I mean, Groove Control charted in Australia.
Okay.
Yeah, we charted in Australia and in New Zealand. I remember being on tour there, and they had it was an adrenaline tour, I think. But me and Marley went to New Zealand, and we literally landed, and they had me on like some billboard thing, and Marley was like laughing at that, and it was brilliant. 'Cause I was like, this is mental, do you know what I mean? And I didn't know, he said Groove Control did chart over there, but and we were staying in a hotel, and there was Johnny Rotten and the Sex Pistols at the time. So this might have been actually 97, might have been a few tours after the first ones, but I remember us on the balcony watching them do their photo shoot over the road. But I remember thinking, at the time, because they were quite a lot older than us doing it, and now like we've kind of caught up now, and the young was doing all of that. It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely mental.
You all right?
I'm good, mate. Yes.
You didn't know where it was going them days, did you?
No idea.
It was mental.
And the amount of vinyl that must have been thrown out over the years as well, that's now worth silly prices as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see the Power Jam track I've got is worth quite a lot.
You're
Wagner.
what's that one you did? I haven't got it, but it's the John Gotti's Revenge. That goes for a fair old whack, doesn't it?
Does it really?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, a lot of the fucking vinyl prices are fucking. We were talking about that, weren't they? Before it turned out sky high, isn't they?
They have gone sky, and it certainly makes you think. So when you've got people sat on sort of the old ex-distributor stock and stuff, and it's almost like a pension pot now, isn't it? With sort of the way that the prices are going, it's nice little pension pot to be selling those on, sort of thing.
It's in probably it's a niche though, isn't it?
It is.
What I mean, so like, I don't think I'd ever get rid of mine.
No.
So, nah, I've sold the bits I needed to sell.
I did it once.
No, I didn't. Yeah, that yeah.
I had so much because I used to go to Alpha Magic because he was running my label at the
Jay,
time.
Frantic, wasn't it?
But I used to, literally every time I went up there, I'd come out with a box
Oh.
full of test pressings and everything. And of course, I wouldn't play them all, so I just ended up too much at home. Like I said, floor was going and everything. And I was just like, I don't never played none of these.
No.
Now that some of them weren't even written on, I was like, I'll
Just give
gotta
them.
go.
Yeah. Where'd you sell them on then? Discogs in that? Or?
No, I'll give it all to Matt Andy.
Oh, do you?
I think I only give it to him
Yes.
for a few £100 or so at a time because he come round my house. It was at Dover Road. So,
Yeah.
so obviously Robbie used to come round to Dalston Road, which was my first house when Dave Devastate lived with me.
Yeah, yeah.
We used to have film nights.
Oh, did you?
I always remember the first time I watched with them two and we watched Blade. I
was it?
always remember the beginning of that film where you're just like, mate, this is going to be crack. But yeah, we used to have like that at Dalston Road. They were good days. But yeah, it was brilliant, mate. Absolutely brilliant.
Small. Well, where are we up to on here then? What we got? Next one. Far up another one, Stu.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. How did you decide which of your tracks deserve to be pressed onto vinyl?
Well,
Back then, was it just everything?
because when you were spending that time and effort and money on the studio,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I mean, a studio then had thousands and thousands.
Yeah,
I mean, we had the massive desks and everything. You had to, if you were in there. I mean, I used to write down where the faders were. If we had to come back and everything, because everything got reset. You were in one day, someone was probably in renting it out the next day. Sometimes, I mean, we would get them done in the day, but you'd work into silly o'clock.
You can't save it. Yeah.
Try and get it done, and you worked hard to get it done, and it was usually of a standard to. I mean, don't forget back then as well. Everything was new, and all the sounds what we were creating were new.
Yeah.
So no one really. There wasn't really any template, was there? You were going in just creating.
Yeah.
You know.
And I don't think you ever went in the studio to think, oh, this won't be released on vinyl. Didn't even cross your mind.
It was going to be.
Yeah. Well, it had to be because that was the only expense and time and
100%.
everything. Yeah. And it was a bit more, now with digital domain, you can like save a track and pull it up and it's there, and it's almost like polishing a turd almost sometimes. You know what I mean?
Over fuck produce.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like that sort of cut-off time of you've got to get it done is kind of like worked in your favour a little bit.
Yeah.
And like Scott and I, we both used like you were in with Trixie like very early, weren't you? And then
A lot of the time, I did quite a lot. Obviously, a lot of stuff with Jim. Because Jim was obviously in town in Portsmouth. I went over the studios in Southampton and London and that. But
who were you working with in Southampton? Was that
Rick, Sunset Machine, and me and Druid went over. But sometimes we'd get on ourselves, and sometimes there would be other people there setting things up for you. It just depends where you're going.
But you did so much stuff with Jim, didn't you? Like Trixie's absolute hardcore.
He was just on, isn't he?
Not just hardcore. He turned his hand to many different musical styles, but he does he's missed in the hardcore conversation a lot, Jim.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's so many amps.
No, he was brilliant. We had some good times.
It was good fun.
I mean, I used to,
wasn't it?
Brilliant. I always remember because I used to tour in the States a lot.
Yeah.
And it was literally 3 or 4 week tours sometimes. I always remembered like coming, literally I'd fly home for 2 days to go in the studio and then go back out.
Bloody
You know what I mean? It was sweet. It was mental. It was mental just to get the stuff done. It was crazy days. So much travelling and all that, but good fun. Especially going and seeing what they were up to in other countries and
mad in the States. I know it's completely different. Very like. What do they call them? Candy. It's candy.
Candy kids.
Stuff.
But they loved the when it went very happy.
They like
He
that.
loves that. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, they also really like the thin and crispy stuff.
They did. Yeah.
On the West Coast, we had
On the West Coast,
quite a few great years out there.
I did really well out there.
2000 to maybe 2007, 2008. Yeah. Shout out to the West Coast of America crew.
West Coast, massive.
Simon Apex, do you remember No Left Turn? You know, the Seattle Hardcore Massive. They've got a special place in my heart. Dummy, DJ Dummy, and Ian K. Those guys.
What are they doing now? Are they
I think Ian's still writing hardcore. You know,
really?
Yeah. I think they are. But yeah, it's good times out there.
Very good.
Simon as well.
What a legend Simon is. Big up Simon.
He's in Vegas now.
He is.
Shrine Studio.
Living the dream, right?
Yeah.
You're living your dream, mate. We played.
When's the new club opening?
We played kind of one of the early Electric Daisy carnivals.
Yeah.
I did one of them.
Did you? Yeah, that's. I mean, they were massive then, but then I mean, what they've gone on to now, they're like
EDC, yeah.
massive.
We used to have little golf carts to get about the stages and stuff. We were crazy in the middle of the desert. I was like, got off, was like massive. I was like, right, yeah, there's golf carts over here. I was like, brilliant.
I'm all off. Fantastic. Yeah, bed. What?
No, I'm all right.
Rob?
No, I'm good, thank you.
So what's going to be your earliest memory of Robbie then?
I do remember Dalston Road more than anything because that was my first place.
Yeah.
And that was like, I would have met Robbie before then.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Out in circuit.
Probably at like fusions and things like that. I would have guessed.
It would have been those Pucker promotion dudes. I
Yes, for John and Della.
Yeah, those ones, and
On the
obviously,
beach and all that.
and the record shops as well. You know, because obviously, like in Portsmouth, there was quite a few record shops back in the day, weren't there? I mean, you had Jelly Jam, which is kind of where
Razzles.
shop. You had Razzles in it, and then the movement.
It was Powerhouse.
Powerhouse.
It was Fusion.
Yeah.
So there was always like 3 solid shops there, and you know, as a young DJ, you'd go and have a look around all of them, wouldn't you? You know, on a Saturday.
Yeah. Dominoes as well.
No, it was bloody
In
hell.
the Tricool.
Okay.
Nuts.
I used to love that place.
Yeah.
It was proper run down CD, but I love all that.
And if you think about it, that's just one town with 4 record shops,
Yeah.
you know, and that would have been the same.
And
all
you
over the
used to have
country,
people
you know.
sitting in there, sitting
Yeah.
outside, just wanting to hear the music.
Yeah, some ravers that had been there.
It was just a way of life, wasn't it?
Yes.
Really. People would queue up. I remember when I worked in Fusion, right? And I shit you not, when SMD come out, mate, we had boxes of it, and people were queuing outside to get that track.
Wow.
I'm sure
Seminal tune.
I'm sure it was number one, the orange one. And we run out.
Yeah.
We run out that first day. I always remember that because I remember how many boxes we had. But I mean, there was quite a few other tracks that would have happened for, but I remember SMD probably being the one that really kicked off
was a
that
game
kind of
changer.
sound.
Well, that was a game changer, actually, wasn't it?
Pianos, with the kick drummer.
The loudness of that cut that he got on that.
The mix was
It
incredible.
was, wasn't it?
I mean, you play it now and it still sounds great. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. Shout out to
Matt.
Yeah.
That was what you got on that.
Crucible. I was just saying SMD when we got that Fusion, there were people queuing up to get that track, and we had boxes with itself sold out in that day or the afternoon. I remember all bag. I couldn't tell you how many sold of that record. But the Slamming Vinyl boys used to come down in their van as well with all their stuff. In effect, that was another one.
Good chance.
see all these miles, mate. All the flyering, all the delivering of records. You know,
But you met the networking as well.
Yeah.
And I was lucky being in the record shop because
Yeah.
people wanted to sell their tickets and stuff like that. So I'd give them my mixes.
Yeah.
Sell the mixes in the shop. Get to know you. It was like it wasn't a closed shop, but it was just easier to network. But people used to travel for 2 days, didn't they? Around just do the South Coast, go out and do the record shops up north. I mean, London would have taken a few days, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Black Market and all of them.
Yeah.
Funny you should say that. My mate Grant, who's coming along to the night, I work with him as an old boy. And he was like, I got a Vinylgroover, I can't wait to see him. And I said, how do you know him then? And he went, well, he goes, back in the day, I went into Fusion Records and I went, can could you recommend a tape? And he was like, I recommend this one, Vinyl Groover. And he was like, why'd you recommend that? And he went, because I'm Vinyl Groover. So he's going to want a photo with you on the night.
Don't forget your tapes then, Jack.
Yeah, my tape. Yeah, I got them anymore. My trench coat, get the trench coat out.
You're gonna have to get that out for the night.
I really am. Yeah.
Scott, what do you reckon, mate? Your favourite era of like rave music is for you? What is it? Looking back,
I don't know. It's an hard one because obviously 92 to probably 95 was incredible, but because I was so young and that was all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, I was very good at art at school and got offered to do some course where they were going to pay for me to design things for a company. Took me out into this meeting and I was like, no, I just want to do music.
Yeah,
I remember my parents being like, what are you doing? And I just want to do music. Obviously, it worked out later when I was getting decent checks and that. Sent my mum and dad on holiday, and I was like, look at this. And they were like chuffed to bits for me. But yeah, it must have been from, because I can imagine my kid coming in and thinking, oh, do you want to do that? But yeah, going back to it, that time was because it was all so new. It was all I wanted to do. So a lot of records from that time are very special to me.
Yeah.
The whole vibe was incredible. But then going a bit later into the 90s, from 95 to probably up to the millennium, and especially I would guess 96, 97, we were creating more that proper happy hardcore sound.
Yeah.
And by that time I was quite up there. You know what I mean? So that was brilliant as well, because I was doing like 5-6 gigs of a weekend. And
So what was the most you've done one night, do you reckon? Gigs?
I think I've done 5.
Yeah, that's good going, isn't it? I was a bit later to the stage, really. Didn't start later, but my career took a little bit longer to get going, and I did 3 one night. I remember it was 2001. I did like, you couldn't pick a further afield set of gigs. We did, so I was with Dave, we did Manchester down to Bristol and then finished up at the Sanctuary. But that's like a whole triangle. And that's well rock and roll. I'm like,
it didn't feel that rock and roll at the time.
And, midnight we were in the car like travelling. It's like,
I remember doing the longest drive I did between the gigs was from Bath, Shepton Mallet. I did first at Dreamscape. I had to do first, and then last at Edinburgh. To work for Resurrection. And we literally, I literally had Paul and his brother, the Blagger twins, was in my car that night, and we were all taking turns the whole way up. It was they were some crazy days and crazy miles, you know, some of the things, car crashes, bloody bringing slip mat, tell them I'm not going to make die hard. My car's a mess.
It's like DJing then, like, obviously you're carrying your record, so the whole terrain of it is different, but you know, it's like you might be a really good DJ in your bedroom, and I think I could hold it down, but it's completely different when you get in front of a crowd.
Feedback.
The feedback and how's the monitors,
MCs.
The
setup of the turntables, whether they're.
Plus, also, you've been driving for 3 hours, and then you're up against it. You go into the club and you're straight on the decks, and you're not warming up into it.
No,
you're straight in there.
Chuck straight in
a car environment of, like, you know, pitch black, middle of the morning, and straight into chaos. Carnage, you know.
I always get nervous as well. It's never gone away.
No, really.
The time I remember being sick in opposite, I think it was Zanies in the Isle of Wight, when I played, because I was playing before Colin Dale, and he was up there then. It's a big thing for me. And I was only very young, and I remember being on the beach opposite, being sick, and I was like just so nervous. But I still get it now. Before gigs. I know everyone's different, but so you just want it to be as good as it can. Once I've done those first couple of mixes, I'm absolutely fine. I'm in there and in it. But always still happens.
But like, you know, going back to like the record shops where you had like 3 or 4 record shops in one town, like the raves back then, especially in like '96, which was to me the height of the happy hardcore thing. Every town had its own rave, didn't it? So you could, like, up north, you could like travel 45 minutes and be into like another really busy sold out club. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these are going on weekly, you know, all the time. You know.
I mean, you had your bigger clubs like your Kinetics and the Rhythm Station, things like that were on every week, and Labyrinth as well was on all that. I mean, that went from
Die
didn't it? Die Hard was weekly. Up in Liverpool, you had stuff. Manchester,
the Dome as well, and then
Wolverhampton, Mr. B's.
Yeah.
There was just tons and tons of clubs on every week. So we'd all cross over. Doing them, the rotation and all that. So I remember some of the times remember doing Mr. B's when Dreamscape the Big Outdoors was on.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. It was incredible. And I wanted to stay, and obviously no one would jump in the car with me, would they? My mates and my missus I was with at the time, they were all like, well, we want to stay here. So I went and done Mr. B's, which was still even busy. Still chocker there. I mean, it was a good, I think it was a 2-hour drive or something, so I went and done that and come back, but no one would.
You left you on your own, lone soldier.
Like, United Dances, didn't you? And
Stevenage,
I suppose now there's not the same number of events, so it makes it more difficult for a travelling DJ to necessarily make the same money out of it as what was about back then when the events were here, there and everywhere and on the regular.
Yeah, though that, like what he said so as well, every other town. I mean, now you get all the DJ politics and that, where you can't play in a certain area from the club and all that sometimes. Whereas back then, I could literally play Southampton, come to Portsmouth the same night. They'd be both as busy. No one would really. It wouldn't matter.
No.
People just wanted to go. It was that sound. It was that whole rave culture of the '90s, really.
Destiny, didn't you, in Bournemouth, and then the Tasman.
My favourite tape. You and Marley at the Manor, 1999, where you played Trance, sped up. Do you remember that one?
I did a lot of that.
I love that. That was my favourite tape.
I mean, I used to play Binary Final.
I remember it.
On the wrong speed.
And Flaming June. It did work.
The click one quite as tough, but it worked.
Got away with it.
And
it was some other different way.
It's decent. That's a good tape. That is my favourite tape.
I mean, it was the Hooch tunes as well. I used to speak. I always loved trance. I like my melodies. So it was a good time. Play everything. The crowd was loving it. So
Manor was good though, wasn't it? Did you ever get down there?
Club,
I used to love that. That was my first foray. That was the Manor.
I did play it once, but not for like one of the main promoters. But it was. I went there as like a raver. It was brilliant, wasn't it?
Adrenaline was obviously where I sort of cut my teeth.
As well.
Because obviously I went into.
And you used to have Gold Diggers.
For me it was Enzo's, because you're talking about record shop culture. For me, like I bunked off. You know this. I bunked off college one day, and I was like, "Yes, what, mate?" I bunked off college, didn't I? And then I got a train to Southampton, walked into a record shop, and there was Hixie and UFO in there smoking cigarettes. And I was like,
Yves Saint Laurent ones.
Yves Saint Laurent cigarettes. Why would you smoke YSL cigarettes?
I'm going to take this opportunity to have
man.
little wee as well, I think. So you got a little studio set up at home?
I mean, where you've got a nice little set up back here. I'm up there pretty much every night.
Oh yeah.
Just
cracking away.
Dion does a couple of bits for you, doesn't she, doing it all singing? She's coming along to thingy in May, bless her. She fucking loves it, doesn't she?
She does.
She's coming along. She's one of my old school raver chums. Both back in the day. So good. But you're doing quite a bit on World of Obsession at the minute, I've seen you banging them out. Quite prolific.
Well, it is, like I say, it's content, isn't it? Content.
You've
got to keep it going. I mean, and to be fair, the quality of things, I mean, you do get bad quality stuff and not well produced stuff, but more often than not, it's at a decent level, because people, you say, have been in and they can go back to things and work on it for a while, So but I'm mixing it up and re-releasing the older 90s stuff as Obsession Classics
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So, because they haven't, a lot of them haven't been released digitally before. So
Yeah. Good idea.
kind of,
Yeah.
it's cool. Keep it going. Keep
Yeah.
everyone interested in it.
Good idea, mate. Right.
So it leads us on to that, actually. So do you have a favourite World Obsession release?
The core.
That was my question. That's in there.
Tough one, isn't it? Because, do you know what? I really think it would be Live Without You.
Yeah?
I think so. For
Yeah.
me, it would be between that and Time.
Time. I really might say Time.
Because Time kicked it off, and that just went
Massive.
massive.
Yeah.
I mean, we sold loads of that record, absolutely loads. But I think Live Without You was just a bit different.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked it. Always went down well. People always asked me about it. So yeah, that I think.
Oh, there you go. The question's been answered. Yeah.
I used to like a track called it's called Children of the Night.
Yes, that was on the World of Vinylgroover album. So that was what changed a lot for me in the States as well. Because that. Oh mate, yeah. I was liable for some bad record.
No, the best one you're going to do is this one. That's the best one.
Oh, no,
Brisky, your
but that
top's
was
off.
I was only talking to Brisky about that the other day as well, because he never let me live that one, because he didn't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was
do you
the
want-
story. Yeah, because, well, I think the story behind that track, that cover. We had done the track, and what we did was we did. I think it was Freedom to Dance and a few. We did 4 tracks, so Brisk had 2 for Blatant, Next Gen.
Next Gen, wasn't it?
And I had 2 for Obsession.
Yeah.
And I think Brisky was away in the States at the time, somewhere, or he might have been on holiday somewhere else, I can't remember, but he was definitely out of the country. I couldn't reach him. But anyway, I went in there, and I had this idea already of Clash of the Titans EP, because we were both pretty big guys at the time.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, so I thought that would be a good little ring to it.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking of things to do. And I had like some headshots of us from various magazine shoots and things like that. And I was like, I wonder if it could.
What, you want to make it funny?
And I was like, what if you put us like on some boxes or something so we're facing off and that? And then he done it, and it looked a bit silly, but still funny. So I was like, this is quite fun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I thought, Brisky's bigger. I'm going to make myself taller than him. Just as a bit of fun. Because Brisky's quite a bit bigger than me. So I thought I'm going to make myself a bit bigger. And then I thought, you know what? He'd look good in the Speedos. Oh, and it was just it was just a bit of silliness.
Yeah.
But that has become an actual cult cover.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Everyone talks about it. It's sought after. It's sought after. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, we laugh about it now, but I remember he wasn't too happy.
Was he?
No, not that he was like bad mad, but he was like, oh, I wish he would have all that. And I was like, no, because that was the point. It was like,
He probably wanted to sign it off.
oh, yeah. Well, sorry, Paul. No, I'll never live that down, but it was fun. And like I say, people
Let's everyone still talk about it. Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, good times. Yeah. Sometimes I remember laughing my head off all day.
Stitch up.
Right, what we got now?
Right, we've got some questions from the internet. As you keep telling us, questions from the internet. Right. What is it about an all vinyl gig that appeals to you as a DJ? We've kind of
Covered that already, haven't we? What else we got?
what are the biggest challenges as a DJ today? What was your biggest influence in music?
That's a good one.
Yeah, what was your
know.
biggest? Yeah, what was your biggest influence in music?
In rave music, I think over the years, for the Prodigy probably.
Yeah.
Let's be fair. Also, there was a group called Hypon Experience who used to love their stuff. You know,
incredible records.
Yeah. And then
Slipmat was always up there though as well.
yeah,
for me.
Slipmat, yeah, and Chrome and Time as well. They also did some like
Slammer and the License. And they, for a couple of years, 93, 94.
that early suburban bass stuff was amazing. Yeah, in the rave domain, I think that would probably take the
What about outside of rave?
Outside of rave, yeah.
I mean, I was always a big fan of the Doors.
Yeah.
I love the Doors and Morrison and all that. So people find that quite strange because it's so dark.
Yeah.
And it's a bit more
The
poetic
polar
and-
opposites.
It is to the happy hardcore stuff.
Yeah,
It's insane. It's just what I like. I mean, I love Nirvana and all that as well, which come along. I mean, they was smashing it out. That 94, the same when I broke through, really.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. So my musical tastes are quite varied. I've got a bit of everything, really.
Well, you're
into the hip hop.
I know you were.
Public Enemy and Run DMC and that, like, you know, I was a young b-boy, you know, loved that early electro hip hop sort of sound that from, you know, that really stemmed from the old break dancing.
Yeah.
I love breakdance as well.
Yeah.
It won't be that. I
Can you
watched breakdance.
breakdance?
I watched breakdance the movie not so long ago for the first time.
Dreadful, isn't it?
But the soundtrack is still cracking.
Yeah,
when he's
yeah.
dancing to Tour de France.
Tour de France, yeah.
With the broom outside Turbo. And it's still brilliant. All right, go on, son. And that film for me, I fell in love with that. I mean, I remember being a kid then, and we would do up the garage at my mate's house and do all the graffiti on the walls and everything.
You know what? I think that was my first bit of vinyl. That breakdance the movie.
Shut it on.
Yeah.
I mean, what a soundtrack it is. When I watched it, I was like, it's just still sounds. It's incredible.
They've got like an amazing hip hop tune on there called "Reckless" by Tim the Glove Taylor, but the rap is actually done by Ice-T, and it's
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
That was a really big early tune for me. That really inspired me. That tune, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Got some good stuff here, haven't we? Do that one anyway. Just for a joke. Yeah. Say his name.
So some guy called Paul.
Paul McHale's question.
Not Bruce
No. This one's aimed at Rob.
How much will Robbie give me for my copies of Smoking 1 and 2 on cassette? Need to get these up there.
Depends what condition they're in, and also it depends if Jut's in on it as well. Are they in his?
Maybe turn
leather
up to
jacket?
this.
I'd actually quite like to hear them, Paul, because it's been a while, I think. And I don't know if I've actually got copies of those, so I would like to hear them very much.
There you go, mate. Well, if you turn up, mate, maybe we'll give them to you.
Always on the promo.
Yeah.
And then we want to ask them why people should come to a Freedom for Dance night. Obviously, I'm putting promo vids in it.
Yeah.
Well, this is my first one.
It is. So maybe
So come, it's my first
Yeah,
one.
join us.
Yeah, come and join us.
I think for me, the last one was so vibey. Everyone was on such a good, like, happy vibe. It was really good, and like seeing loads of old faces and people that hadn't seen each other for ages. It was a really good night.
It was really good, wasn't it?
And the dance floor was packed all night, and I just think, it's. I think it's going to be a great night.
Yeah. It shall be a great one.
I think it will be as well.
Well, I think that would do, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think that'll do.
Yeah.
I have one.
Go on then, mate.
One last question, I suppose. So we talked about the benefit of a DJ playing vinyl, so again, that satisfaction. Do you think the audience sort of has a appreciation for the vinyl as well? You know, for the DJ playing the vinyl?
I'd say some.
Yeah, I would say.
I think
some,
it depends on the
because-
generation. Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But then you get some of the newer generation that are into their retro
Hipstery sort of.
kind of things. It just I think it depends. But you do get your diehards.
You do, yeah.
You got that going on every day. I see the arguments for and against, and there's But what do you reckon?
Yeah, I honestly think for your average raver, they don't really care.
No, no.
I think, you know, it's just music coming through the speaker. Unless you've actually had a go at mixing and, you know, figuring out all the stuff we've discussed, you know, about like, you know, like a dust on the needle, you don't even get to clean your needle, you know what I mean? You can come across it there, you know.
Change your needles sometimes. I used to take my Concords
Did you?
with me because they were better for scratching.
Yeah.
You know, so I used to take them and swap them.
Proper DJs don't share needles, mate. You know?
No, we don't. All
You'd
good?
stand there at the end of your set like a whore, watching, waiting for your next needle. I'm going nowhere.
We'll be halfway down the motorway thinking, shit, I've left my needle.
I did that. I did that the other night.
Even slip mats. I mean, Si used to take slip mats. You know,
Yeah.
didn't he? I did as well. You know, because some of them were lighter than others. You could, more for the scratching, really.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, so you would make things.